Wow. That's all I gotta say right now.
Hey,
wow, that guy's good. that one
I was
guy.
feeling like Lil Boosie's daughter. I was like, I told y'all, niggas. I told y'all.
God. Here we go. Before we really get into it, let's do our proper introduction. It's your boy G alongside Alec. Another episode 6300. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Y'all see the TikTok now. I see the numbers going up. We see y'all. We appreciate y'all. Keep following us online there at section.300, on IG section.300, on Twitter section300 sports. A lot of good stuff going on there as well. Love to chat with y'all. Make sure you subscribe to the show on YouTube. Like, review, subscribe, all of that on wherever you stream our podcast as well. And yeah, we're back with a whole lot to talk about. We just finished the NBA Finals, just wrapped up. The Bucks just got it done. Bucks in 6, as Alec has been telling me. And I'm not going to talk too much more because Alec, this is your time to shine. You've been trying to tell me about it all playoffs long, and now here we are. So how you feeling?
Yeah, man. I said pre-show. This is the moment I was waiting for with Mahomes versus Brady. I got disappointed there, but Giannis did me right, man. Giannis did me right.
Chris Paul is not Tom Brady, bro. You're good.
You're certainly right there. Certainly right. Man, 50-piece McNugget from Giannis in a closeout game.
No, not McNugget, the Chick-fil-A 50-piece.
You're right. You're right.
Get it right.
50-piece Chick-fil-A nugget from Giannis. That's special, man. In a closeout game, like they said, with champagne ready in the locker room, that pressure, that was insane, man. I said probably 2 episodes ago that I think Giannis has another 40-point performance in him. He already had 2. he topped it with the 50-piece closeout game, man. That was sensational. One of the best finals performances I've ever seen. Just single-handedly dominated that game. He had 50 of their 105 points, so he had almost half their points.
It was him.
It was just Shaq-like dominance. I think he's the most dominant player we've seen.
Hey, man, I got the jersey on right now. I was going to talk about it later on, but you brought him up right now. Shaq crowned him and said, "You're the new Superman," and he definitely looked like that in this the closeout performance. So I definitely love what I saw from him as well. And I wanted our Arizona guys under 8 to get the job done, but I'm not mad at all that Giannis won. It's an amazing moment for him, amazing moment for that city, amazing moment for the countries he came from, amazing moment just across the board for a lot of folks. Salute to Drew Holiday, who's a LA native. I've seen him around a few times, and so salute to him for getting the job done. Chris Cash Money Middleton and others got the job done as well.
Batman Middleton.
Exactly. Batman Middleton popped all the slander and put up some more great performances to solidify this NBA championship. So salute to all the guys across the board. Bobby Portis had an amazing story for him. We know where he came from and the battles he had to endure to get to this spot. I'm glad that he turned his career around a little bit and now is in this moment. Brook Lopez always carried himself like a champion. All the squads he has been on, and now officially is one. So salute to him. Just great things. I guess the one funny part is that Budenholzer was champion too, and we've talked about him and his ups and downs and things. But admittedly, but admittedly, he actually did a real good job. We joke about his lack of adjustments and things. It was really the Suns that struggled with the adjustments. I was big on Monty Williams and things, and it's not to slander them, but just saying that the Bucks, on the other hand, did a lot more to really make sure they got the job done, and they did in the end. So yeah, again, just salute to the Bucks. It was a great performance by everybody, and Giannis is Superman, and it's solidified. So love to see looking forward to where we go from here.
Yeah, and you mentioned Shaq crowning him as the next Superman. Like, Shaq doesn't throw around that type of praise very often. Like, he's kind of been dubbed as one of those old head haters, kind of like in the media by fans. But him giving him that title is no small thing. I mean, 50 points, 14 boards, 5 blocks. Like, someone was saying, like, watching the finals, it was like you would hear blocked by Antetokounmpo like every few minutes, like
exactly
everywhere on both ends. His motor is insane. I mean, and that's why you can't discredit or discount what it means for guys to be like true competitors like that, who go all out 110%. Go for it.
He got that from your boy. He got that from Russell Westbrook. He had an interview, like I showed you. He talked about how he got that frown he liked to do where he has a mean dunk. He got that little scowl, whatever we're gonna call it. He got that from Russ. So yeah, that high motor definitely shows. He puts his all into every performance, and I love that he showed it on the grandest of stages in Game 6 yesterday. So yeah, I just nothing but praise for me.
Yeah, man. I mean, his resume is insane already at age 26. This is his first finals appearance, so he's 1 for 1 there.
Right.
2-time MVP, defensive player of the year, 5-time All-Star. Like, dude already has a Hall of Fame resume.
Exactly.
Like, he's cemented. All he really needs is, I guess, a gold medal. He got the finals MVP too, obviously. That wasn't a debate as much as they tried to make it a debate on social media.
No. We'll talk about media later because they've been a mess. So we're not talking about them right now.
Was never a debate, never in question. Shout out to Drew Holiday, as you said as well too. My UCLA baby boy.
And Campbell Hall. Shout out Campbell Hall.
Much respect to him there. Shout out to Budenholzer, as you touched on. I thought he did a great job in this series. If anything, he didn't get in the way. Like, he didn't make like bad decisions. He just like let his stars be stars.
And as people joke about with Budenholzer, he has that face where he looks like shocked all the time. Like, he looked like he was shocked his adjustments worked. Like, oh, I did that, and he actually played off. Like, I did a good job. Like, his face looked like he was impressed by his own doing it at times. So salute to him for getting his guys right. Yeah, I mean, they only really had like an 8-man rotation if you include Jeff Teague, but Jeff Teague was not really a factor. Right. But they really only played 7 guys, and one of them doesn't score in PJ Tucker. So really it's 6 guys who are really contributing points. Another guy you salute, though. PJ Tucker's been around the league, in and out of the league for a minute now. And people point out how exactly. And people also point out how he's been through the ringer these last few years, going up against LeBron and AD and people in playoffs all these last couple of years, and now it's paired up with the top dog and got over the hump. So salute to him for that accomplishment. And he was with Harden when Harden was talking that cash talk about Giannis, and now he wins the ring with Giannis. Like, PJ Tucker is probably like, I'm gonna sit out of this one. I don't know about all that, but it's great to see. On that note, Giannis get a ring before Harden does. After that, no skill talk, the no bag talk, which. Again, we'll probably talk about too. Right. That got that narrative had a lot of traction in the past few days. That basketball player talk too. Basketball player versus Hooper. Just can we just enjoy basketball? Can we stop trying to make some weird takes to make things more critical than they need to be? Can we just watch and enjoy? Because I'm so sick of all these people trying to make new terms to further divide people so we find new reasons to hate folks. Like, I just want to sit back and enjoy the game as I've been doing in these playoffs. And all the other stuff people are trying to do with the different types of terminologies, like, y'all can have that because it's not doing nothing but trying to further separate folks that don't need that divide. Yeah, and we like some of the guys. Like, we like Rashad Phillips. We respect a lot of his analysis and his takes. But right. Some of these things, like, I think some of the arguments that happen based around these narratives that these guys push are like just in bad faith NBA discourse, like on NBA Twitter. Like, there's no way you could discount. And Giannis kind of shut up all the narratives this playoff run and this finals run with how dominant he was. Not having a bag. It's just like some of these people overcomplicate the game of basketball sometimes. Way too much. Make it much more about like aesthetics versus what guys are actually producing on the floor. Right. Sometimes, like I say to you, like off air too, like you got to trust your eyes too. Like we can go by the analysis and the stats, or I mean the analytics and the stats, but you got to trust your eyes as well too. And just like, man, I don't get it. I don't get this Hooper bag talk narrative. Like, I'm a fan of Ball Don't Stop as well too, but some of his takes as well, it's like, bro, if you really know the game and casual, like you like to call. I was gonna say, man, listen, everyone wants to be an expert. you don't have to be an expert. It's okay to be a casual. You can sit back, relax, and enjoy the games and not be a problem. This need to prove that you're an expert by creating some unnecessary stat or definition ain't doing nothing but, like I said before, creating a divide that we don't need. So we appreciate and we hear what they're trying to say at times, but sometimes it just ain't needed. And this last combo about basketball players versus hoopers, like, I get what he was trying to do, but like I didn't need it. Like it didn't add anything to what we were actually watching. So whatever. So
enough of that narrative for the next year. I think Giannis did a pretty good job shutting that down. But I'm gonna need him to drop a rap diss like Shaq did with the how my ass tastes to go.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I need Giannis to drop some bars. I feel like that'd be on brand for him. Because he was talking some cash talk in the post game interviews. As well,
he dropped the ether beat a couple of times. He was going off. Yeah. He definitely got his shit off. And to that point, and actually no, we'll save that. I want to stick with Giannis actually right now. Giannis going against super teams became Superman on his own, and really solidified himself as top of the league, as we have mentioned, and looks like he's bound to be the future, the face of the league in the future, if not now cemented already. But with that, for some reason, people still find ways to hate. As we have seen recently, hate sells in the media. Stephen A. Smith has issues with Shohei Ohtani being the face of the league in MLB, as well as with Team Nigeria, the Nigerian Olympic team and things, and voiced his issues with them, which he got a whole lot of backlash on, which we talked about last episode. And instead of people learning the lesson from that and turn the opposite way, people are now trying to make their own versions of what Stephen A. did, seeing the reaction that it got. And the latest we got was Emmanuel Acho of Fox Sports saying that Giannis can't be face of the league of the NBA because he's a foreigner.
I didn't actually see the clip. Like, what did he go?
I saw it, but even as I try to explain it now, like I don't really understand it. Emmanuel Acho, I believe, is Nigerian himself. Talked about how he knows all of Giannis' background. Talked about how he knew where he came up and sees what he is, but for some reason thinks America won't embrace. Like, it was the same thing Stephen A. said, but for Giannis. And I'm like, Giannis already is a two-time MVP. Giannis already is I think he just was or recently was the cover athlete for 2K. He was the all-star captain a couple times, I believe, or once at least. So like he has the fans. Like he has our attention.
And he has a personality.
And he has an amazing personality. I don't know what more you want from the man, but people keep trying to find more reasons to hate rather than just embrace what we see in front of us. And it's really frustrating. We did that ourselves at times, and I'm pulling the brakes on that. I definitely want to embrace these new athletes that are on the rise, and salute them on the journeys that they're going. And Giannis definitely is one that I'm supporting. So salute to him against all the hate that people try to throw and continue to say what he can't do. People have been saying his whole life, as he pointed out, what he can't do, what he won't do, and all this, that, and the third. And he keeps on proving them wrong and proving them wrong yet again in this situation as well. So, I'm rooting for him. And if he's not to the media world, to me, he's the face of the league. So I'm supporting him.
I couldn't be happier for him. It was nice to see the outpouring of love, whether that's some bandwagoning or whatever. It was nice to see the outpouring of love and respect for him after that performance. I mean, because unless you're Skip Bayless, there's no way you can hate on that performance.
Skip tried, but it didn't really work.
He really tried. He's grasping for straws there. And I'm sure he still got his interactions and whatever. But I saw Shannon even went on today to say Giannis is the best player in the league. And LeBron's his boy. So I was a little shocked by that. I talked with you, though. I do think he's definitely top three. Going in before the season, we kind of ranked our own players.
He was my MVP pick, but
was he? Okay.
Remember I said he was my main guy and Steph was the sleeper pick?
Oh, yeah.
Fatigue or whatever the case you want to say. And, of course, Jokic's good play. Other guys jumped ahead of him, but he had another MVP-esque type season this year himself. I was rooting for him already. He came up against our Arizona guy, so I picked them. But I definitely have noticed. I've seen what Giannis has been doing from the jump, and have been supportive of that.
Yeah. I had him at 3 there. I think I had AD and Bron ahead of him.
Yeah,
I'd probably bump AD out of there and put KD in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd probably still have Giannis 3. I think KD is otherworldly talent and can do it from anywhere on the floor.
Yeah, he proved it in that last series.
Him and Braun, though, is arguable. Just with Braun getting older,
right.
Giannis is probably still not hit his peak, which is nasty to think about.
Disgusting. But also, real quick, I'm not gonna lie, I have gone back and watched our last episode a couple times. Just I don't know, just because. And we brought up the LeBron thing, and we talked about how he's past his prime, but still top 3. You know how crazy that is to say.
It is, dude. He's 36 and still.
Yeah, he's past his prime, but still top 3 in the league. Like, how does that work? Like, that's just different, man. So yeah, whatever. But I definitely hear you that he's in the discussion as well. And Giannis, like as you're right bringing up, has solidified himself in that conversation also. So yeah. However you want to rank them, 1, 2, 3, whatever. Those are 3 that should be there.
And he's leapfrogged himself in the all-time debate. Like, I think he's definitely top 25 all time now. I mean, you could argue about where in there he is, but not many guys have done what he was able to do. So
I've reached a moment, partially just like I mentioned before, because of the media things, where I just did it right earlier when I did the 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Like, I don't really care. I'm not too locked in on numbers. Like, oh, he has to be second best of all time or third best, wherever. I just know that what I'm seeing is an all-time great talent. Rank them wherever you want to rank them. Compare them however you want to compare them. I personally don't care. Y'all can have fun with that. Stretch yourselves out about that. I see what he is. He's in the discussion, and that's all that matters to me. And I'm going to enjoy him and let him go on to do the great things that he appears to be determined to do. So yeah, rank him however you want to rank him.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And I mean, you want to just jump into next season too early prediction as well?
Well, I wanted to actually flip to the Suns side. We talked a whole lot about Giannis and the Bucks. I do want to commend the Suns. Definitely want to tip the hat to Monty Williams. He was a great coach. Just great to see the performance that he was able to bring out of these guys, and it was an amazing moment afterwards seeing him give praise to the Bucks as well. You don't see that in sports too often. Him going into the other team's locker room as they're celebrating them beating you. He walked in there and said, y'all beat us, but I want to salute y'all, right? Exactly. But I definitely commend him for that. It was a great moment, and definitely another moment that just symbolizes the great man that he is. Just salute to him. Salute to the Suns for the efforts that they put out. A lot of Chris Paul slingers going out right now. For what I saw, he had a good game 6. It's just I think he came up short. It was funny how it kind of went back and forth. There were times when Chris Paul, not just in the last game, just throughout the series, when Chris Paul had a bad game, Devin Booker at least would have a good game, and it became leadership and all the leadership jokes, which we added to ourselves, admittedly, and things. But then there were times when Chris Paul had a good game, and folks didn't really want to give it up to him. Like he had a few good games after his little fall off.
He had a pretty good series minus the turnovers. The turnovers were major glaring.
He had a good series and ended it on a decent note, but because of the media narratives that we pointed out and how everyone made him seem like he was the one reason why the Suns got as far as they did, as things went up and down. When it was down, people piled down. When it was up, people didn't want to say nothing about it. So I want to commend him. I know he came up just short, but salute to him for getting this far. And hopefully I don't want to say hopefully, because again, me and you ain't the biggest fans of him either. But just I hope you continue to have a good career going forward. I don't want to say finals, nothing like that. Just, admittedly, hopefully it's not too haterish. But just hope you
when you play with no honor in his own way.
Yeah, right. Salute to Devin Booker, Deandre Ayton, the Arizona guy, which is, like I said, the reason why I was rooting for the Suns to get the job done. Campaign stepped up and earned himself a nice check. Cam Johnson stepped up. Mikal Bridges looked real good also. So there's a lot of good young pieces on that squad.
Not 100 million good though.
Not 100 million, but they earned themselves a couple extra dollars. So for that. As you go into the next, as you wanted to talk about, actually no, before we actually get there, we talked about comparisons and things, and there were a lot of people trying to do the comparisons between Kobe and Devin Booker, and we talked about that for a quick moment a couple episodes ago. But they asked Devin Booker about that himself, and he said he didn't like them. Yeah, and I just wanted to piggyback off that, saying I really wasn't the biggest fan of it either. Yes, I saw the comparisons, but Kobe, his style had rubbed off on a lot of folks. There's a lot of guys in this league that mirror Kobe. Yep. Giannis himself, I talked about how he said the Kobe's challenge that he gave him a couple years ago and got the job done. So Devin Booker is not the only Kobe disciple. I know Stephen Nash tried to crown him as the next Kobe. There's a lot of Kobe disciples in this league, and to put that all on Devin Booker's shoulders was unfair. So I just want to say that the pressure's not all on him to be that. He can be his own self. Again, to the comparisons and rankings, I'm not comparing Devin to nobody. Let Devin be Devin. Let DeAndre. I did it with him. The DeAndre Elijah one things. I'm done with that too. Let DeAndre be DeAndre, and let these guys just be great on their own accord. So yeah, if you want to add to that, you can. But yeah, I was just kind of bothered by that.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you about letting guys be themselves. Let them create their own legacy. I think it's more so giving like respect to Booker, not necessarily.
Sure.
I mean, there was the other end of it, like people taking away from it, like taking away from him, saying he's nothing close to Kobe, that kind of thing.
Right.
I think the Kobe comparison was kind of to give respect to him, because much of his game, I mean, a couple of his moves, like the pump fake fadeaways and all that, like a lot of it is like carbon copies of what Kobe did and what MJ did, because Kobe took a lot of what he did from MJ.
Sure.
So like I see those type of comparisons. It's hard to compare him legacy wise and in Mamba mentality wise. Like Kobe was one of one, really, in my opinion. So you can't really like put that on any player. I agree with you. There's a bunch of Kobe disciples, as we talked about, between him and Giannis and Tatum and Trey and others. And plenty of other guys who looked up to him who don't get that kind of spotlight as well too. So you don't need to put that kind of weight on his shoulders, but I'm sure in a way he kind of appreciates it as well too, because that's a player he sought to emulate and is still seeking to achieve the type of accomplishments he did. But yeah, ultimately let these guys be themselves. But I was going to give respect to him, as you did to the Suns, just dropping 2 40-point games in the finals. In his first finals appearance, he had a
great performance,
exceptional playoff run. I think averaging like 27, 5, and 4.5, something like that. People questioned whether he was an empty stats guy, whether he could do it on this stage, and he answered with a resounding yes, that he's for real like that and can do it at the grandest stage. So props to him. If he got a little bit better performance from some of his teammates, including Chris Paul, who had a good series, but he had lapses as well too.
Definitely.
If he got a little bit more from them, Booker might have been a champion in his first appearance as well too. So I think he'll definitely be back. That's why I'm fine with the Suns losing this time, because I don't want to see CP3 get it, but I think Booker and Aiden will get it.
Hey, hold on. Are you sure though? The Kings are coming.
Man, you couldn't even say it with a straight face. You know how crazy that sounded? The Kings are coming from 11th.
Okay, my fault. But if the Kings aren't coming, the King might be, and LeBron and them definitely think they can get back to it. To your point about the early, way too early predictions, what do you think about next year? You think the Lakers get back and are healthy enough to make an actual run next time, or you think the Suns or somebody else could get ahead of them again?
I do. I was listening in on the spaces hosted by one of our favorites too, Maples, last night on Twitter after the post game, and they were talking about if they thought the Suns could make it back, like would they get another chance at it, just with the Western Conference getting healthier.
Right.
I mean, like Jamal Murray was out, Kawhi was out, AD got hurt. So those teams are going to be stronger come playoff time next year. I think it's going to be tough for the Suns to crack another finals. They might be poised for another Western Conference Finals, but I don't think they can crack the finals again next year. I do probably favor the Lakers with healthy LeBron and AD. That's always the caveat. I mean, I think the Lakers win it this year, actually, if AD's healthy.
We all do, but the reality is they didn't. So it is what it is. But I hear you though.
You can't change that. So
yeah.
And then probably right after them is the Suns. So I think Lakers and the Suns will be the top two teams in the West. And then in the East, Bucks and Nets. I think the Bucks get a little bit better, man. So it's really a toss-up. You probably give the Nets the favorite. I think they'll be the media favorite because we haven't seen 3 superstar offensive talents like that together on one team. But I like Giannis, and I like him getting a little bit better as well too, and then maybe adding a piece or two to get a little deeper on the bench. Getting Dante DiVincenzo back, who was a major missing piece for them as well too. I might favor the Bucks to get back to the finals.
I hear you on that, especially with how locked in Giannis seems and how determined he looks like he was ready to go for another playoff run right after he won this one yesterday. So yeah, he definitely is locked in for that, and he very well could. But yeah, there's a lot of things that could change that could derail him from that. So we shall see. I definitely do hear you on the Bucks side, at least. I definitely agree with you that they could be back. On the Suns side, like you said, I think there's a lot of other variables that could throw them off. Also, I think, while it may not be to the same extreme, there could be a fall off similar to what we saw with the Heat this year, just dealing with injuries and things, just with as we're trying to, while we are going to have an adjusted schedule and we're getting back to normal this offseason, they will have some time. I think Devin Booker going to the Olympics and things, he'll have a little bit more wear and just them being a team that immediately was used to having a full offseason to the nth degree, now flipping over and having a very short one. Them having to adjust to that and getting healthy for this next season. It might be a slow start for them as we saw with Miami this last year, and that could throw them off a little bit. So they are a team
as Kardashian vacation time this summer.
Right, exactly. So we'll see how he adjusts to that. But I think other teams get healthier as well and find some more tools. So with that being the case, I don't want to hate on them, but I don't think the Suns get back next year. But I do think Devin Booker and DeAndre will have another run in their tenure. So I can't think of who I want to solidify as that team. I'll go with the Lakers for right now as our team, of course. But
healthy Clippers beats that Suns team too, because we almost beat them without Kawhi.
That's true. We don't like giving them praise, but we see the talent that's there and gotta acknowledge it. So they definitely are a threat. Well, actually, if Kawhi is out with that ACL tear, with as long as he may be, that could throw things off.
But he'd be back for playoff time.
Sure, but still, him getting back for playoff time, but still taking his time as he does. We may not get that full 100% of Kawhi, so that still might derail them. So
he's got
same thing with him. So there's a few options, but if things stay somewhat as is, then sure. But I think some other teams are going to retool and get back to it that could throw them off. So we shall see if we get a rematch between these guys soon. But for now, just want to enjoy what we did get from them.
Notice who you didn't mention in the West. Notice who you didn't mention. The Utah Jazz.
Go ahead and say
Utah Jazz.
Whatever.
They're frauds. We know they're not as good as those other teams. We know that. It didn't even cross your radar when you were thinking about
it. It did, but I knew if I said it, you were going to start joking, so I just left it alone. I was trying to get to the next segment, but you in joke mode, so whatever.
Rudy Gobert praying for the FIBA rules to roll in the NBA because
whatever. But as we close out with the NBA Finals, I want to also mention some things that went on off the court. So to Malika Andrews, 26-year-old, stepped up and was a sideline reporter for ESPN and did a great job, start to finish. Great interviews right after the finals, both on the court and with Giannis post game. So salute to her for that. And then Maria Taylor finished out with ESPN. She said, "Y'all ain't gonna keep playing with me. Y'all ain't not gonna play with my name like that." And this was her last event with ESPN. She's gonna move on to NBC. So salute to both of them for great performances, and we're definitely rooting on Maria as she goes on to do more great things at NBC. So salute to both of them. And that wraps up the NBA Finals. Any other notes you have finals wise? We went 30 minutes now.
just people talking about that awkward plane ride between Devin Booker, Drew Holiday, and Chris Middleton to Tokyo.
Oh, 20-hour flight. It's really kind of awkward, but I think guys get kind of over it too.
Gotta pull out the newspaper like Kobe had with the champions on
right? Yeah, that can be awkward. That can be real awkward. But I'm sure he'll have other things. They'll have other things to focus on, and he'll be all right. So, also
they're not like bitter rivals either.
No, like, not at all. It's respect. There's definitely a whole lot of respect on both sides there. So I think they'll be just fine. Also, it might be awkward flying there, but if they fly back together with the gold medal, I think everything will be all just fine. So we'll go there now. Actually, with the Olympics, it's kind of looking shaky for us, honestly. Well, we have high hopes for a gold medal. Our team's trying to figure things out. We had our COVID scare last episode, and we didn't have confirmed who. I think it broke as we were recording. But Kevin Love and Bradley Beal backed out, and the superstars we replaced them with. Keldon Johnson and JaVale McGee, who are great in their own right.
I was gonna say Keldon can play, but
this is not to knock them, just to say they were not who I don't think anyone.
It's a different caliber of player for sure.
Right. Any NBA player, honestly, would fit in. NBA talent is good enough that I think you can insert them. But when you heard their names, we're like, of all the guys we had been discussing and the long list of Zion Williamsons and Trae Youngs, Keldon is a rising star on his own, but he wasn't quite there yet. But he impressed Pop, as he is someone that's on his team in the NBA.
And he was on the select team as well too.
And was on the select team, so he earned his spot. And we'll help this team because we could use it, as well as JaVale McGee, who will be a nice addition as well. People joke about JaVale and his
3-time champ,
whatever. 3-time champ and all of that. And I think his experience will be great, and we can use a big. So I have no real criticism of the two joining. So what do you think of that? And then we also think of us getting the finals guys in, as well as Levine, who will be joining us.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see like what the actual player pool is that they have to choose from. Because I know a lot of guys are hurt. Some guys are maybe rehabbing or whatever. Some guys just decline the invite maybe as well too.
I think it seemed like Ja and Trae denied the call for some reason, or just didn't get called. So I'm with you on that.
I'd love to see like the options. Like some guys probably aren't US eligible, like they play for other teams or whatever. Right. So like I'd love to see who they have to pick from. Because it feels like JaVale wouldn't be super high on the list, like as good as he can be as a spot player. Like, I mean, because he plays usually impactful minutes, just getting bored or rim protecting as well too. Like we saw it on the Lakers, we saw it on the Warriors.
Definitely,
he's an impactful player, nowhere near an all-star like the other guys on the team.
Sure.
And Keldon, as we said, it can ball, but he's young, and it seemed like he got the coach's son vote from Greg Popovich.
Yep. Connections go a long way.
They do in every field for sure. So, but I'm not mad at it. I guess at least they're in shape.
Right.
Another light jab at Kevin Love, because I think he can take it. He got about himself saying he wasn't really ready.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
But yeah, I think this team is still poised to win gold. They have the talent to do so. They just got to lock in defensively. They have Kevin Durant. They have Damian Lillard. They have Jason Tatum. They have guys that can score the ball at a high clip. They just got to lock in defensively, and I think they can win gold. There are some teams that are going to give them problems. Nigeria is actually really good. Like I don't think that was a fluke. I think they're a solid team. Australia beat us, and I think can beat us again. Spain gave us a run as well too. So they're gonna have some competition, but I think they should still get the job done.
I agree. We have I believe we're the top talent in the league. Maybe that's in the world. That maybe that's being a homer or whatever. But I truly believe that our guys, regardless of who we bring in, should be able to get it done. Having KD and Cash Money Middleton now join the crew and others, I think these guys definitely can still get it done. And I'm rooting for them and looking forward to
and Drew can crank the best one, like we saw.
Exactly. That those decisions are going to go a long way. So very excited for that. and looking forward to all the Olympic things. So yeah, great things there. Now as we come back home again, as we mentioned, we're the unofficial home of LA sports. Got to talk about our Lakers in depth on our own real quick. As we now are here in the offseason, I know Olympic things are going on, but for the NBA here, offseason things are going on. How do you think, actually before we get to the Lakers, just for the league, do you think there's a ripple effect with how we saw the Bucks play? And if teams are going to try to kind of echo that, or what do you think the ripple effect will be from the Bucks championship?
That's an interesting question because it's hard to kind of mimic that play style. I guess other than like Jokic, or the Nuggets, because Jokic kind of runs the floor for them.
It doesn't necessarily have to be recreating that because Giannis is one of one.
Right,
but
exactly.
Teams could be setting themselves up to better defend them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think one thing that goes to that point we were making earlier about the basketball discourse getting kind of dumb on NBA Twitter is like, there is no stopping Giannis. Like,
right.
They think they have a blueprint, but there is no stopping him. You can build the wall, but
you figured it out.
Jrue Holiday is not Eric Bledsoe, as I said before. So he was a huge boost to them. Middleton finding, even though he was inconsistent at times, like finding it late. Like he shot poorly yesterday as well too, but late game situation, he got the job done.
When you beat him, he's there. Yeah.
So it's not as easy as just building a wall or putting a big body on him. The Suns thought they could just put DeAndre Ayton on him and he was barbecue chicken.
Right.
Just bullied him. So I don't know that teams.
Real quick, I'm sorry. Real quick, I'm still impressed by that. You tweeted it out, I believe. We thought Giannis tore his ACL like 2 weeks ago.
I forgot to mention that. Bro, I thought he was done for the season.
Went back like this. We thought he was done. And my question was, yes, he can come back, but bumping with DeAndre Ayton, DeAndre's a big dude. If you bump into him with your bad knee, that could go the wrong way for him. And he seemed like he was the bully the whole time. And DeAndre was trying to figure it out. So I'm impressed just with Giannis' whole performance. And I'm still in awe.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to Ayton at all, because I'm an Ayton fan. I'm an Arizona fan. But he was starting to look tentative in Game 6, like throwing up some little baby hooks, like not trying to bump with Giannis. Like, his presence felt in there.
Right.
So, I don't know that teams really have found like the scouting report with the answer for it. I think the Lakers are the best matchup for them. That's why I favored them in a finals matchup, because AD is right there in terms of what Giannis can do as far as the athleticism and the defensive presence. I think Giannis is a little bit stronger than him, but AD is also a defensive player of the year caliber player. So I think that's really the best matchup for him. But other than that, like, who else is stopping Giannis? Bam was supposed to be like the best matchup for him, and swept them in round 1.
Gosh.
So, teams might try to move towards getting more interior presence on their front line, but it's gonna be hard to bang with Giannis no matter who you are.
The other point I want to bring up too, at least for a quick moment, we had a season or two where teams went back to the big two instead of the big threes in the league, where it seems we had a nice couple of duos across the board, and everybody was drinking all the best duos and things. Now we're back to trios again. We got a few, I wouldn't necessarily call them as the same as before, but we got a few at least semi-big threes right now. Do you think we're going to get back to big threes again? We're going to start seeing stars link up a little bit more as a result of this? The Bucks, I believe, was a big three. I think Jrue, Chris, I keep want to call him Cash, Chris, and Giannis were all stars in their own rights, and that definitely counts as a big three in my eyes. So, are we gonna start seeing big threes again?
I mean, I think you will see some, because rumors are that like the Lakers are seeking to add a big three piece in the point guard slot, whether it's Chris Paul. Rumors of Westbrook, which I don't know how much validity is there, but that would be a big three as well too. I mean, even if you add like a Lowry, I think that would still be a trio of sorts.
I agree
as well too. So I think you probably will see a couple teams move towards seeking to do that. Even on like the lower ends, like You got the Bulls who have Levine and Vucevic. Like they're probably looking for their third piece as well too. You really need kind of that third scoring punch, especially when you get like late into a playoff run. As you saw, like even with like the Clippers probably would have got it done with a healthy Kawhi.
Right.
Reggie Jackson was like that third scoring punch for them that had to be
there. Yeah, he was in a big three. I think they're the only two duo that have a nice third that just of not a regular guy. I don't want to call him that, but he wasn't a star in that same light. So yeah, I think they were the only kind of duo still that really made that kind of push. What I wanted to bring up was that the Sixers, we saw the impact of them and their big three struggling. Yes, you can have Embiid and Tobias, they do decent, but when that third guy and Ben Simmons is not himself and is completely out of character, they fall as they did. So yeah, we're getting back to
he was in character.
Oh, I guess he was in character. Just that character wasn't the right one. So yeah, we'll see how the league adjusts. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a very fun offseason. It's starting quick. We got the NBA draft coming up next week, and then free agency starts soon after that. So great things there. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see how the rest of the league adjusts because Giannis is here, and if teams don't figure it out, he's gonna dominate.
Yeah. Yeah, with you mentioning the Sixers too, I didn't think about like Embiid's probably the best like physical presence matchup against Giannis. But I think Giannis is too quick for him as well too.
Definitely.
So that's not a great matchup for them either. And with Ben Simmons' woes, I don't think the Sixers are beating the Bucks this year either. So
no.
Yeah, the team's gotta figure out something. I mean, I know Nick Nurse kind of had the blueprint with building the wall and when they had Kawhi and took the Bucks down after going down 3-1. I think.
But I also don't think that Giannis and this Giannis are the same. I think Giannis has definitely increased his talent, his game since then. So
and that was Eric Bledsoe as well too.
Right, a little different now. So good luck to the rest of the league. But now back to our Lakers. I'm interested in all the options. I will say I've seen rumors of Chris Paul declining his option and coming here. And while the fit works, I understand the fit.
It does.
As I've been talking about this whole episode about just enjoying the game. Our team, I would not enjoy this team. I'm not going to lie. I would not enjoy a team with Chris Paul, LeBron James, and Jared Dudley.
Jared Dudley ain't the big three.
I know. I play it. But having two guys that you aren't the biggest fans of continue to come to your team. Like we mentioned last year, the LeBron team of Rondo and Dwight and all these guys. I'm like, dang, we were holding on to Caruso for dear life. Like he's our saving grace and there.
Cruz,
kind of, but he's annoyed us now too. Yeah. So I don't know, but you don't like Chris Paul more than I do. So if Chris Paul is the option, how you feel as a Laker fan about that?
Man, I told you when you talked about it last night that I think the fit is perfect, really, from a basketball standpoint. I could honestly see him and LeBron kind of butting heads, though. Like, as much as he loves like that banana boat crew, like he loves Melo too, but he didn't vouch for Melo to be on the team.
Right.
I don't know how much he'd want CP3 like to be on his team. Because of how LeBron, they have similar play styles as far as like running the show, running the floor.
I can kind of see it. I can kind of see it being like Russ and Harden, where they wouldn't ever publicly dispute, but you could tell that they just weren't working. Exactly. So I can see it kind of playing out that same way. But for now, at least people are making a lot of rumors about it. I think it was trending, at least on my timeline. Chris Paul to the Lakers. So a lot of folks have hopes of that coming true. And we'll see how it plays out if so.
Yeah, but as far as the fandom, it would be extremely hard for me to root for a Chris Paul and LeBron-led team. I would have to pray that they sign someone that I really like as well, too. Some young guy to root for or something. I like AD, too, but, like, it's not enough when you got LeBron and CP3 there. Two guys that I'm indifferent on LeBron, but CP3 I hate. I hate watching that man play.
A lot of folks have grown to hate him with his encore antics. So
yeah,
I don't hate him to that degree. But I get what y'all are saying though. I hear you, because some of his things, I'm like, why did he do that?
you can see it. So, you can see it. Some people can kind of get beyond it, but right. I just can't look past it. So
yeah, I hear you on that.
But on the flip side, as far as the other room, like I love Westbrook. That might not seem like the best fit to people, just shooting wise. It's a game that's moved towards you need more outside shooting, especially at the perimeter. But I would love to have Russell Westbrook on this team.
I will say though, and I definitely agree with you in that, as the mid range has came back, which I love to see. I think Russ is going to greatly benefit from that. And if he joins us here, I think he'll make that work. So I'm for it. And if they make it happen, he might be the guy I finally get a new Lakers jersey for if he shows up. So fingers crossed for now. He's top of the list of guys that just as a fan, I like to see in a Lakers jersey.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I was going to say I need to get me a Giannis jersey, I think. I think it's time.
Yeah.
That Cream City one, too.
Yeah, of course. I understand. That's the people joked about that at first, but that's an elite jersey right there.
It is.
Very elite jersey, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, definitely great things across the league. To that point, there have been a few guys in the league that I have eyes on. We talked off air about our new favorite players in the league, and there's a lot of names that are in that discussion. Just to say that the league is in good hands. I remember, I think it was during the middle of the season, this last season, there was some discussion about how there's not going to be any new guys to really claim the throne. Once LeBron leaves, there's going to be no new all-time players of this new crop of guys. I think there's a lot of guys that are on a great trajectory. Again, I don't care exactly how high they rank. As a fan, I see them and see amazing talent, and I'm going to enjoy them for however high they may
always
get.
Do this.
Yeah.
When Kobe retired too, like as much as I love Kobe, like there's plenty of young guys that were ready.
It's like, who's next? There's plenty of nice young talent that is here, and I'm looking forward to watching them all grow into future superstars in this league. So if you wanted to say that, but for the stars that are here, the one star that was brighter than them all for the last decade or so, however long you want to say, has been LeBron James. And he just had his Space Jam 2 movie come out, and he faced slander as he always did. Critics came out in bunches saying how bad the movie was. Grown folks saying how bad a kids movie is. Like, again, we talked about it. We saw it coming for the last couple of weeks. Let the kids enjoy things. I'm not here to nitpick a kids movie. I haven't seen it yet, admittedly, but either way, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not going to watch it through these adult critic eyes. I don't care to do that. I'm going to enjoy it for what it is. And you have seen it. So what do you think of Space Jam 2?
Yeah, I mean, I went in with low expectations because, like, I didn't want to go in with these lofty, it's got to be better than the original type of expectation. Like, I just wanted to go in and enjoy an entertaining film. And that's pretty much what I got. Like, it was entertaining. LeBron's acting was a little tough to watch in the beginning, but it got better throughout.
Got to ease into it.
Someone pointed out, like, his voice acting was really good. Like, when he was actually, like, a cartoon in, like, Looney Tune or whatever, like, his voice acting was pretty good for the role.
Right.
And he got better as the game went on. There's a funny Michael Jordan appearance later. I
saw the clip. Yeah, I won't spoil it, but I
won't spoil it either.
But
that was funny. There's some good jokes in there. Like there's jokes at LeBron's expense too.
I talked about. I saw it in previews. Yeah, I heard about that. So I'm glad they poked that, and LeBron is able to play poke at himself at times. So that's good to hear.
Exactly. Like LeBron is able to not take himself too seriously, which is the opposite, really, of MJ, which is nice as well too.
Don't poke at Jordan; he'll clap back to this day.
Exactly. Don Cheadle was great, but it was just like it was an entertaining movie. Like it's a kids movie, like we talked about.
Right.
You could be overly critical. It very much was a Warner Brothers commercial. Like they threw all their properties in there.
I heard about that. Yeah,
but it was like, for me, it was like 6 out of 10. Like it was like solid. I didn't feel like I wasted my money or anything. Like I enjoyed it. So
cool. So
I think if you like the first one, you'll probably like this too.
Absolutely. So definitely going to check that out. There's a lot of things. We'll talk about shows more in depth later on, but there's a few shows and music and all kinds of stuff that we got to get to that is going on right now. So definitely going to stay in tune for that. But I guess closer to things we've been talking about right now, we had a discussion last week about Richard Sherman and things that he was going on with. I don't want to deep dive too much his own situation, but just again bring back the mental health discussion we tried to have as well last episode to also talk about how, to our point about shows just now, Naomi Osaka had a documentary on Netflix that just came out talking about her journey and how she's dealt with social anxieties and depression and various things, even while being on the grandest of stages as she is the best tennis player in the world right now, I believe. So she has recently become very vocal, or at least not very, somewhat vocal, just about what she's going through. And Netflix documentary came out with her further talking about that. And yeah, I just wanted to add to that just to say that with her and Richard Sherman's situation and with very people we see in the limelight, Kevin Love, I mentioned before how I didn't want to poke at him because he's mentioned his things while we have reason, whatever. But just to say with folks that have brought it up, like even on the grandest of stages, folks can still deal with these things. And people talked about how, oh, she's doing Sports Illustrated and she's doing documentaries with saying she's dealing with this. It's very possible for both things to be true. You can deal with these things while also still having these great feats that you're accomplishing. You don't see what goes on behind closed doors. You don't see what goes on when the cameras are off. You don't really know what's going on when the cameras on at times. People will show what needs to be shown and go back to wherever they're dealing with. And I'm glad that Naomi is highlighting that. People are still struggling to understand mental health in these top athletes, and it definitely needs to be further looked into. So just salute to her for that moment. I relate to it as immediately. I guess I'll make it personal just slightly as someone that deals with things like that myself. I don't got to go into too much detail, but just to the point of you can be dealing with things for 23 hours of the day, and then me and you sit down here for an hour and we get our jokes off, and it's the one thing that helps you get through the rest of the day. So we can be dealing with things here as we joke and smile about everything, and then when the show stops, we'll go on and have a whole lot of world of things we're trying to figure out ourselves. So it happens with us who are guys sitting in our parents' room or however you want to describe, joke about us in our mama's basement, in the basement or whatever, or we could be the greatest tennis player in the world and be dealing with it as well. It happens on every level. It needs to be treated with more care. So I salute to her for opening up more about that. And I hope people show more grace to her as she deals with it, because it's something that she has tried. She tries to tell people like this is something she deals with, and people keep trying to poke at her and saying, "Oh, you say this, but do that." It's like both things can be true. So let her live and let folks that are dealing with things have their peace.
Yeah, I mean, she was unfortunately facing criticism and attacks, namely one from Megyn Kelly that I saw, the former Fox News host, people attacking her for being on the Sports Illustrated cover after saying she deals with mental health issues and didn't want to be have to go through the media interviews and everything at the tennis tournament.
Right.
And people trying to conflate the two, saying, how can you be on the cover but not want to do interviews? We can't empathize, one, with the spotlight that's put on an athlete of that caliber, and two, with one person's individual struggle with mental health. It's not the same for everybody. It's not the same day to day, like you just mentioned, or even hour to hour sometimes.
Right.
So it just lacks empathy to attack someone for showing their vulnerability. And I feel like we just need to do better, as a society, at accepting people's flaws and accepting that people struggle, because we all struggle with different things, and just embracing that we each do struggle, and we might not be able to know what that feels like ourselves to go through, but we can at least acknowledge that everyone goes through something. So like we can't just diminish an athlete because they don't want to give an interview or they don't want to do an appearance or whatever. Yeah.
We have to shake the mold of the past idea of celebrity. We used to hold celebrities up as these perfect individuals who could do no wrong or whatever. And then once things got revealed about them, it became breaking news or whatever, because we didn't understand that these folks had real things that they were dealing with behind the scenes. Now, as social media has allowed celebrities and whoever to be more open to their fans and the public, we see that these people that we hold up are not much different than us, and go through the same things that we deal with. In Naomi's case, I guess so. You guys relate here, for example. It's like it's very easy to be in a spot like here with me and you in a controlled environment where we understand what's going on and control the situation versus sitting in front of a whole bunch of people with the spotlights on, and you have to follow along with how they question you, wherever the case. Like there's a lot of different situations where she can be put in and can end up being very, very uncomfortable. So I understand how she can go and do a documentary on her own terms or go and do a shoot on her own terms, but then be in front of a crowd of folks and be like, I don't feel like myself right now. Like it's very understandable what she's trying to explain, but folks seem to be ignorant still as she tries to explain that.
Imagine if you had to do a press conference after your day at work, like on the performance and how you would break down your performance and that kind of thing. Like
it's a struggle for everybody. They just have to be on a greater scale, so we see it as they endure it. But as we both have said, we hope that we get more understanding of it and embrace of folks, so that we all can go on and have positive lives. So salute to her. Richard Sherman, hope things continue to turn around for him. He posted an apology, I believe. So talking about how he was out of character and things. Whatever is going on with him, I hope things straighten out. And again, just continue to raise more awareness. And I'm glad that we can have discussions like that on here. So great things there. And then we'll use Richard Sherman as a way to segue into the NFL. I didn't realize it was like 2 weeks away.
Preseason.
It's preseason still, but football is football. As a guy that likes football a whole lot, I'm glad that we're getting anything in a couple of weeks. So looking forward to preseason starting. The great things there. Finally, just think some things on the field. It's been a whole lot of off-season. What's going on? Just random people board, ranking, whatever type stuff going on. Now we're getting real on-field play. So definitely excited for that. I'm just thrilled. A lot of hype again. Our LA folks, a lot of hype about the Rams and the Chargers, as we've talked about. Me as a Raven fan as well. A lot of hype about us. Still tempering not tempering, but staying calm and not having no grand expectations. Just letting this team do what they need to do. I know we're still young and have revamped the roster a little bit. So letting the guys work through things to work through, and hope that our new guys can really make a big impact. So excited for them, excited for the Rams and Matt Stafford, as we mentioned. Justin Herbert looks like he's going to be a big time over for the Chargers. And there's just a lot of good things going on. We're getting good things to talk about football wise now, finally, and I'm looking forward to it. Any NFL notes you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, man, Aaron Rodgers just won another championship because he's a part owner of the Bucs as well too. So he's winning when he's not even showing up to to Packers camp or whatever. So it seems like he ain't worried about the Packers right now. He's like,
not at all.
I'll figure it out in a few weeks or whatever.
They offered him a 2-year extension. He said, "Nah, get me out of here." Y'all tried. I don't want to be here. I don't care about the money. Just let me go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I did a couple mock fantasy football drafts, and it's like he's kind of like lower in the quarterback rankings because
you have?
Sure if he's gonna play or not. So
I didn't know you did that. Right? I was going to say that. We'll talk about it now. Mm-hmm. Something I've been thinking about and watching. Who is your top pick in fantasy football this year? Number one pick in fantasy football.
I feel like the consensus right now is Christian McCaffrey. I don't know if you could do that.
Is that a lock though with his injury?
I found
a way to survive.
You had him last year, so that's probably hard to take him again.
I came. Oh yeah, actually no. I think the basketball, but in football, I came up short because he had his injuries and things. Yeah. So I don't know if I want to take him coming back off the injury. There might be a 1 year just revamp kind of year he has to do, and then maybe the year after he'll be back into form. So I don't know. But yeah, I was just thinking about that. I'm not locked on McCaffrey as the experts seem to be. So wanted to just toss that to you and see what you thought.
I feel more that way about Saquon Barkley. Like, I feel like he's a little bit too high because he's had multiple injuries like early on as well too. So I'd worry about his health more than I worry about McCaffrey's health. Mm-hmm. And McCaffrey has been like a fantasy star in the past. So I feel like I get why he's the number one. He's probably like I wouldn't even say safe just because he had the injury, but the least, it's still risky, but I guess least risky play at number one. I guess everyone has the potential to get hurt, so you don't want to worry too much about injuries, but you kind of know the history like in the back of your mind when you're drafting. But I'm not sure like who would be my number one pick. I'm trying to remember like who else was like in the top 5. It was pretty much all running backs, I think.
I believe so. McCaffrey, Kamara,
maybe Derrick Henry's in there.
Derrick Henry might have been there. I don't know if he will be back there again this year. With them adding Julio, that could open up the offense a little bit more.
Kamara's kind of tough because of the quarterback situation in New Orleans. I could say the same thing about Carolina too, because I'm not big on Darnold as well.
I think Darnold actually has a good bounce back and redemption in Carolina.
So. You a USC fan?
Yeah, if I don't, man, I got to run with the guys. Whatever. But I think Darnold just have a nice bounce back, and if McCaffrey is healthy, he will definitely benefit from that. I actually think that Kamara might get more touches with the weird quarterback situation going on there, if that makes sense.
He might get more touches, but he might get more stacked boxes as well, too.
I understand that, but Kamara seems to be a guy, and Sean Payton has an offense that I think they'll be able to get him into space to properly operate, so we shall see.
Low-key, Derrick Henry might be the guy. Just with that offense being, like, more expanded, too, getting Julio as well. Like, they're going to be a threat in the air, especially now, too, with AJ Brown and Julio, so
I feel like we're
might open things up a little bit for Derrick Henry.
I feel like we're blanking on guys, but again, we're the casuals, so pardon us for not having every name.
There's a couple receivers in there. Travis Kelce is ranked high now too. I might not be able to swipe him in the second round like I try to do.
Yeah, gonna be tough with that. So
they got him like 8 overall or something.
Right, but definitely excited for fantasy football this year. Definitely gonna be fun. We'll look up a little bit more names for as we get closer to the season and have a better conversation for it. But just a thought I had just now. I definitely wanted to see what you thought about that. Also, to the point of coming back to things, we'll definitely have our predictions for the season as it gets closer. Talk about all the awards and things and Super Bowl predictions and all that. Still a little too soon right now. Plus, we're the casuals, as I just said. So once you do a little more research, we'll get back to it. But definitely looking forward to the NFL season. Also, we mentioned just now, as I'm remembering, we just talked about advantage just now. A lot of running backs here in LA. We just lost potentially great running back this year. Cam Akers went down with the ruptured Achilles. Definitely a tough loss. So we'll see how the Rams adjust. I don't know if Gurley is the option. I think there's other options out there.
He was a free agent too.
I don't know if it's him. I think we have other good running backs already in the locker room. But however they adjust, I think Sean McVay still will have us in proper position to have a good run. And I'm looking forward to how we adjust. And again, just wishing for the best for Cam Akers for healthy recovery.
Did we talk about how they had like Matt Stafford ranked above Dak Prescott and stuff?
We did, and we just dismissed it because we don't care about lists that much and shit. So let them say what they want to say. I disagree, but I also don't care. So y'all say what you want to say. It ain't gonna affect me.
They leapfrogged him into like top 5 quarterback.
He had at 5. I was like, whatever. Y'all. People are real bored, trying to make headlines, trying to catch somebody's attention, and that's how they're doing it right now. Y'all have fun with that. I'm not buying into it.
Listen, I think he'll be good. I think the Rams will be pretty good.
Yeah, but
I think there's better quarterbacks.
All right. Yeah. So whatever. But yeah, definitely fun things going on in the NFL. Great things going on in the NCAA. Football is getting close as well. And things going on off the field have interesting to see. We talked about how things have opened up for guys to start getting paid for their name, image, and likeness and all of that. And we joked about Spencer Rattler and others who got sponsorships already. I believe it was reported that one guy for Alabama, Bryce Young, I believe, supposedly is making close to, if not already making, 7 figures from some kind of deals, I guess, some kind of way. So that's amazing to hear. But I will say I'm interested in how that plays into the dynamic of that locker room when you have a guy making millions already in the building, especially if he's not cemented. Again, I'm not the college football expert like I tried to be in the past, but I know Alabama has talent across the board, and they always have a couple of guys at QB they can fill in. So if Bryce is cemented, that's great, but it could be real awkward if you got the $1 million kid sitting on the sideline while other guys are putting on the show. So we'll see how money influences the locker room. I'll ask you, do you think that these guys getting paid and sponsorships will influence the dynamic of college sports?
Yeah, I think to your point, it could influence like locker room dynamics as far as like,
locker room dynamics.
Maybe a little bit the hierarchy. I don't think the field of competition changes that much.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would come when you have guys like on salaries. Like if guys were getting paid salaries versus just getting paid off their name.
Mm-hmm.
I think that then maybe changes the level of competition, and maybe you don't get guys that are as hungry out there if they're getting paid already.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, guys are still seeking to make a name for themselves and eventually get to the league, and seeking to build their personal brand, because now they can benefit off their personal brand at this level too. So guys are going to want to compete. If anything, I think it'll help a little bit in that way. Just guys wanting to compete and get that spotlight for themselves as well too, so they can make some extra bread off that.
I hope that doesn't get lost. Like if you grind, you'll get that money. If you put the work in and you earn, you will get that. So I hope that doesn't get lost, and guys still are putting their best foot forward to still be the best football player they can be. I will say also though, I'm interested on the recruiting side though. If you're a guy that's a 3-star, for example, and maybe before without money involved, you could be a starter for some random school in the mid America somewhere. And guys have often done that. A name that comes to mind just off the top of the head, Khalil Mack went to like Buffalo somewhere, and he might still get paid a little bit out there.
What's his name? The quarterback from like North Dakota.
Yeah, guys have gone to small schools and gone on to have great careers. So before that was great to see. Just before they got there, just saying, if you're a guy that's debating between Buffalo and what else is it right around there? Syracuse. I don't know, just something in the area, but you're in like New York somewhere and you have a bigger spotlight. Is that going to start swaying guys? We're going to start seeing more guys pile back on to bigger name schools. If you're a guy over here and you're debating between Arizona, which is a great school, and we love it, of course, that's our school, or UCLA or USC, which is in LA, has a bunch of marketing opportunities. Are you going to pass on the playing time for the money to go to the bigger name? So that was the thought.
I was saying it's possible. I think like the discrepancy between like a UCLA and Arizona isn't much there. Like
right. I was just off top of the head thinking the name.
But like to your first comparison, as far as like a smaller, like a Buffalo or whatever versus Syracuse, like I think it'll be a similar decision making process in terms of, do I want to be the guy at a smaller school versus a couple rungs down the depth chart at a bigger school with a bigger.
I guess the point I was trying to make.
If you're the guy at a small school, you'll still get the spotlight there.
I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't know if that same guy will get paid as much if he was still decent at a bigger name school. Like maybe I'm wrong in that, but just thinking how that could play out.
It's a fair argument. I mean, because I think certain schools are going to have more resources and maybe be able to push their guys more.
Right.
But I think there's a benefit to being the guy in a small town, like where like your college is the main like sporting event. Like even at like Arizona, because Tucson doesn't have a major professional sports team.
Right.
So, like the guy at Arizona maybe gets a pretty big bag because they come out for Wildcats football and Wildcats basketball. So yeah.
I guess to the point I brought up at the beginning, I don't know. While Bryce Young, for the moment, seems to be a one of one, just using his name as an example, I don't know if you would get a Bryce Young at a small name school, even if he was the guy, compared to if he went to Alabama and was a backup, but still was at Alabama and is now making millions, if that makes sense. So hopefully it doesn't sway things too much.
I think it helps. I think it helps the smaller schools because you still can make the money there now too.
Got it.
Like before, like what was the draw really? Like beyond just wanting to make a name for yourself and be like featured, like it might help like HBCU be able to recruit more guys. Is like you still can get paid and you can make a name for yourself as well too. So yeah, I could probably go both ways.
Yeah, I hope you're right in that. Just thoughts I had just as I look at the situation and hearing stories unfold. So yeah, hopefully guys still go where it's best for them to play and remember what's first and football being that. And looking forward to how the season plays out. I don't have any predictions or anything like that. Again, hope Arizona does well. Hope USC does well. Hope UCLA sucks. And yeah, just another great season on the way. So looking forward to it. But yeah, that's really it that I have for sports stuff.
I'll just throw in there. Dodgers,
go ahead with your baseball. I'm watching, but I don't have enough info to add properly. So I'll let you lead that.
Sure. Yeah, we're in the second half of the season now. Dodgers and Giants kind of battling out for that top overall in the league right now, and in the division as well too. I think the Dodgers are maybe 3 games behind them or so, maybe 2. And they're actually playing in a series right now, and this is like the third game of 4 tonight that they're gonna be playing. And been a pretty good battle. They just brought up a pitcher who's been really good in their farm system, Josiah Gray. Some black excellence for the Dodgers, so I'm happy to see that.
Oh, yeah, salute.
And I think he pitched. He had a decent showing last night. But yeah, I think the Dodgers are primed for a really solid second half. Getting some guys back, getting Kershaw back soon, hopefully. Getting Seager back soon, hopefully. Got to get Cody Bellinger back in the groove, but other guys have stepped up between Muncy and AJ Pollock's been really hot as well too.
Right.
I would like to see them in terms of making trades, making moves, upgrade the rotation. Obviously, Trevor Bauer is not going to be back anytime soon, if at all. Right. So being in the buyer's market at the trade deadline and seeking to get a potential third starter behind Kershaw and Buehler, whether that's Max Scherzer, who a lot of Dodgers fans have clamored for.
I've heard his name. I was going to ask if he's the guy.
He would be the guy. Like he would be the top guy in that market as far as what the Dodgers are looking for in a starting pitcher. He's an elite guy, and has won a World Series with the Nationals. So I would love for them to bring him in, but there's a couple others potentially that they could target and trade for a starting pitcher. So I'm interested to see if they do make that move, because I think it's a necessary one with having Bauer out. David Price has been solid in a reliever role, and maybe they stretch him out and make him a starter. But it would be nice to add a third piece to that starting pitcher rotation. So
got it.
Looking forward to the rest of the second half for sure.
Definitely. Anything else there? Shohei still is a guy, right?
Shohei's still cooking. Vladdy Jr. is still cooking for the Blue Jays.
I heard there's a nice home run race going on there. Is that still true?
Yeah. They're definitely battling it out there. I'm trying to think if there's any other big stories right now for baseball. I don't believe so. I don't believe so. I think that's pretty much it. As you say, we're an LA podcast, so I'm mainly gonna do Dodger talk. So that's what I'm most locked in on. But
We'll stick with that. But I guess with no big stories in baseball, as we go on to all the extra stuff with all the sports things done, there's big news in the music and entertainment world. Kanye supposedly is dropping Donda. After all these years. Finally got it done with full rollout and things. Actually seem to be following through. He's followed through with every step that has been supposed to happen so far. He had the commercial.
I'll believe it when it's on Apple Music.
Yeah, I gotta see it to believe it. So we shall see. He's supposed to have a live stream event in the Falcons Arena. Hopefully, him being in Atlanta doesn't make him choke and change his mind at the last minute and pull back on the release there, as the Falcons have done in that building often and blew it. So we'll see. Hopefully, you got that joke there.
Yep, 2083.
Yeah. Don't believe Kanye. We all believe in you. Just follow through, get the job done, drop it for us, and let's enjoy the moment. So looking forward to that. It should be very good. Has that been the reason why Drake's been taking so long? Was he ducking Kanye because he knew what was really going on there?
I don't think so, but like to that point, like I know you said you've been kind of into the Kanye rollout. Like album rollouts ain't really like moving me. Like I really just want the music. Like I don't really care about like the release dates and stuff because artists be moving the release dates all the time, especially Drake and Kanye.
Sure.
So like I'm just give me the music, and when I get it, I'll be happy. Like I'm trying not to get too worked up about rollouts and that kind of thing anymore.
Sure, but I don't like grand rollouts like with Drake where he announces, "Oh yeah, it's going to be here a month from now," and it ends up stretching.
That's been Kanye's MO though. Like,
that's been Kanye's MO, but he seems to be having a quick rollout this time around, where it's like he hasn't really said much. It's all been news elsewhere that he's been reported. Like, yes, he's doing this and then this and this. Like, he seems to just be rolling and just trying to get it out. So I like how it's quick and he's just like, let's just do this and get it out. So
he had the Sha'Carri Richardson commercial as well.
I like the ad. I guess he's back with Nike. He's been posting things with Nike again. Maybe that influenced Drake a little bit, as Drake being the check over stripes guy as he was. So we'll see how that comes into play. But yeah, definitely great things there. Man, I just blanked. Oh, just to the point of rollouts. The other rollout I like recently. I'm not the biggest fan of rollouts either. I like things just to let's just get to it. Tyler the Creator had a great rollout and the album delivered.
Classic album. I
still thoroughly enjoy that album top to bottom. And I don't want to say it's still too soon for me. I'm trying not. But it's a really, really good album. And I enjoyed the rollout. I've enjoyed all the videos. I enjoy the album, which is most important there. I enjoy what he's doing afterwards with the more videos. He had a video he did with Converse, which was not for the album, but it just felt like it was an extension of it in a way still. So I just enjoy everything Tyler Creator is doing. He was in the studio with Kanye recently, so that was great to see. Maybe he's on the album there too. He's on a nice run. So I definitely
he was actually he was featured on an album that I've had in heavy rotation for me, and that's Snow Allegra's new album.
I'm glad you brought that up. My brother, I'm glad you brought that up. Special. good stuff there. I saw a lot of people saying it's not as good as the last one or whatever. I enjoy it. I like it. Y'all can compare and debate and rank all y'all want. I don't care. I'm in the moment trying to be in the moment right now with folks.
I'm enjoying
I enjoy what she put out. Really good project there. I enjoyed Tyler's features as well. I've been enjoying. It's not a rollout to the same style as these other folks, but Isaiah has been rolling out things. He has a couple singles out now. Had a funny little video he posted with Guap Dad recently. So he's semi doing the rollout as others have doing and gearing up for his release. Maybe TDE had the insight on Kanye, and that's why he pushed back until the 30th, seeing that tidal wave that was on the way. So I'm set for his release. That was good things there. But to us being the unofficial voice of LA sports and things, we had some nice LA projects that dropped as well that I want to point out. We talked about Vince and his album last week. Vince's album got some slander from critics, but I thoroughly enjoyed that as well.
I didn't love it, man. I didn't love it. I like it. Like, it's solid. Like, it's solid raps, solid beats, but nothing jumped out to me. Like, it was just it was a cool listen.
it's somewhat on the lo-fi vibe, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
And that's definitely a style of music that I enjoy a lot. So I can see how some still aren't the biggest fans of it, but I enjoy it. I've listened to it as much, maybe more recently than the Tyler album. Honestly, like it's that good in my opinion. So I've been really enjoying it. But also just to the LA point, as I brought up, he has been great. Also, I mean, Tyler's an LA guy himself, so he counts in that. But also Draco, for those that know Draco, he dropped that was fire. Remble dropped. Who else dropped the same day? Oh, Blast and Bino dropped 6 tape too.
I was gonna ask if you listened to that. I haven't. It's in my library, but I haven't checked it out yet.
I did. They all 3 of them delivered. So all the LA, I like all the LA dropped on the same day. And
I like Blast a lot.
All those albums. Yeah, Blast is great.
Blast album is great.
Yeah, and the tape they just put out was really good. So Kalen put the deluxe of his tape out as well. So all of LA was out. And I thoroughly enjoyed everything that I got from them. So salute to all the LA folks that are doing their things.
Did you listen to the Pop Smoke album?
Pop Smoke album. How do you feel about what's the word? Posthumous albums like that?
Yeah, I don't love it. It's cool if his family can benefit off of it, but I don't love doing those type of albums when the artist is no longer with us. Yeah, and it like just looking at the track list, I didn't listen to the whole thing. I listened to a couple songs, but it looked like a DJ Khaled album because it was just like so many features.
I'm cool with albums when they fall in line with what I think the person would have done when they were still alive.
Yeah.
But Pop Smoke, like Nipsey had voiced himself, he also was someone who was like, I don't mess with everybody. Like, I'm not here to be cliquey with everybody. I'm not just throwing everybody on my album. And when he was alive, he stuck to a certain group of folks that he did his music with. But now, as you mentioned, he got a DJ Khaled album out now with a list of all I don't know if he would have worked with, maybe he would have because he seemed to be a superstar, but I don't know if he would have worked with Dua Lipa in real life. I don't think 42 Doug was even popping yet when he was around. So certain folks, I'm like, how did people that know Pop Smoke allow that to happen? But
I will say the last album did have a lot of features on it as well too.
It did, but it seemed to even still at least
they made sense. The name
they made at least somewhat sense. Like now, I don't know if he would have went as wide ranging of features as he did on this one. So I don't know. Again, I listened to it and there's some good stuff on there. You could tell that they seemed like they were not demos, but you could just tell that they weren't exactly the product that they could have
come out had he been alive.
Yeah, exactly. So it's what it is. Forever, rest in peace to Pop Smoke. And yeah, I'll support my own ways and stream the things that he puts out. But yeah, it definitely was an eye scratcher, eye raiser. Looking at that track list at first, so it is what it is in that regard. But elsewhere, there have been other things that have been coming out. ESTG, I like his all the stuff he's doing right now. Thoroughly enjoy him and the project he just put out, Bigger Than Life or Death. A really good project you should check out. People are calling him, at least from what I've seen online, he got the new Jeezy comparison. People call him like the new Jeezy in a way. Compare him how you want, again, however, but just for you who may not know of him, that's how folks kind of see him. In his own right, he definitely is great, and I enjoy him. Definitely a good project you should check out. In a direction that you probably wouldn't expect, but we'll talk about it. Willow put out Willow Smith.
I don't mind it.
Oh, you don't mind it? Okay. I'm glad on the same page there.
I've liked some of what I've heard from her, so
we can get in our alternative bag just a little bit at least. Yeah. Willow put out a pretty good album. I like the rock direction she has gone. I think that fits her very well, and I enjoy the music that she put out there. So definitely good stuff there. And I was playing Claro. I don't know how to say it, but she put out a pretty solid project. I think Billie Eilish is on the way. Code word Bucks is all I'm gonna say. Bucks
code
jersey.
Word what?
Code word Bucks jersey is all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna.
Oh man.
But yeah, looking forward to her things. We mentioned Isaiah Rashad's on the way. Pink Sifu is a guy that I've grown to love. He's worked with guys like Mutant Academy and Flight Anakin, who's I'm a big fan of. Uncle John, who I'm a big fan of. The Loopers and others and folks.
Uncle Tom.
So, no, stop doing that. I'm not letting you get that off, brothers. I mess with Brunt. People always mess up his name. I messed up his name before. Admittedly, I gotta get that right. So salute to Uncle John. He's out there in DC doing big things. So salute to him for sure. I think he's got a tape dropping this week as well. With man, I think he's got a tape with Dash dropping. Y'all might not know him, but y'all should. Definitely check out all his stuff though. Looking forward to what things he continues to put out. Also this week, someone I'm a big fan of, who is, I don't rank things often, but I have at least 5 guys who are my top guys to listen to right now. And someone who's solidified in that top 5 is Boldy James. I've talked about him a few times on here, I believe. He has a new tape with The Alchemist that's dropping this week. Okay. So very excited about that. That one might be better than Kanye's. I'm going to be careful with that. I don't want to put expectations on it, but from what he has put out in the past, I thoroughly enjoy what he does.
Kanye, so
right, yeah, not knowing what Kanye's going to drop, who knows? But Boldy, I think, will make, at least for me, is going to compete with Kanye for best album drop this week. So thoroughly looking forward to that and all things that are on the way. Yeah, I just want to mention all of that on the music side. Any of the music you want to talk about real quick?
No, I don't think so. Snow's been the one that's been the heaviest in rotation for me. Some of her older projects as well too.
Some folks that we talked about, and I'll say I was one of the guys that again, we don't care about it now, but the Put You On guys that I told you about a while ago who've now grown and are doing their things, Westside Gunn and the Griselda crew, they may be featured on the Kanye album supposedly. Baby Keem, who I'm still waiting on his album, The Melodic Blue, who he's been teasing for a while. I'm looking forward to that project when it drops. He has a feature here with Kanye supposedly. Looking forward to that. Hopefully he can inspire Kendrick to drop something else. Him having close ties with Dot in that way. So looking forward to all things there. And yeah, Drake. I don't know if you're waiting for him.
I'm waiting for it, but I'm not like heavily anticipating it. And yeah. I hope that's not what he's waiting for. Like, I hope he's not waiting for there to be a buzz around it, because that might not even come.
Buzz has been here for 10 months.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not going to be like the whole world stops kind of thing. Like, you get that when you drop the music. So, right. Yeah.
Not too many people will make the world stop anymore. So if he's waiting on that, he might have too big expectations even for himself. So
like he's done the OVO Sound Radio too. I don't know what he actually, if he dropped anything when he did that.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
So false hope.
Yeah.
Whatever. So we'll see.
Cut it out with the antics. Like just give us the music.
Always, the album's done, and then no, it's pushed back, and then the album's done, and it just needs to be mixed, and then it gets pushed back again. Like,
right.
Just drop the album, bro. Like enough's enough. So
and there could be legitimate credence to like him waiting for Kanye, because that ultimately that was always the real beef. Like he doesn't have real beef with Pusha T.
Listen, there's real credence to that, and I'm fine with that. Yeah. When you come out and say, "Oh, I got to heal my ACL," we're not buying that, bro.
January and we're in July.
Come on now. You don't gotta. Benny got hit and was in the booth the next day. Like, folks, you can get in the studio still and record with injuries. Like, you can still drop the album. So
hey, I don't want to hear that. Giannis bent his leg backwards and dropped 50 points.
And dropped 50 2 weeks later. Come on now. Get back to it. Get back to it. So, yeah. Hopefully he drops soon. And Kendrick and the others that we're looking forward to. But excited for what is confirmed to come. And it should be a great couple of weeks of music that we're going to get. So, excited for all of that. Moving to the TV side real quick, a rapper who's now got his own show that you've been trying to tell me about, Lil Dicky and his show Dave.
I tried.
You've been trying to tell me, man, but it's a show that just does not seem like it's for me at all. The clips that I've seen have not gotten any good reaction out of me.
Your taste may be a little bit harder to narrow down for me, but like I didn't think you'd be like a Office fan. Like that kind of show, like
big Office fan.
Exactly.
What's the other one? I forgot. I'm working on shows, but
I think you would really like Dave. Like I don't know, like what your version. Maybe it's white rappers. You don't fuck with white rappers, but
There's a little bit of that, admittedly, but also just to the show itself. You sent me clips. Clips will come up on my timeline. I've seen various little snippets of the show.
Clips though, because I haven't really seen clips.
There were snippets in the first season of a scene that's really the funny scene with him and like Young Thug and Gunna. There was another scene I forgot. Yeah, a couple with rappers and things that I saw. People were like, "Oh yeah, this show was the next show, big show." And I'm like, this show is not doing nothing for me.
The Joe Budden podcast is like when I first heard people talk about it and say they really liked it. I was shocked. I was like, I would think that's someone they would clown. Like,
as we know, though, they ain't the Bible. We ain't following them. So
absolutely. But then, like, I also listened to like a movie podcast, and they like said they really liked it too. So I was like, like maybe there's more to this.
To each their own, and that is not for me. So I'm leaving it alone. But I will
check it out. Season 1 is like significantly better than what season 2 has been. So, and
then if I know there's a big fall off, all I watch expecting the drop off. Like, y'all don't sell it good either. Like, I'm gonna just leave it alone. If I ever get to it, I will. But
like, I gotta sell it. Like, it's just very funny. So like, if you like good comedy, you'll like it. But
I guess. But with other shows, as someone who's not watching a lot of TV right now, if I do watch TV, there's other shows I need to get to. Loki's on the list of stuff to finish. I started Loki, haven't finished it yet. So there's that. By the time I finish that, a Succession will be out. So there's that.
Watch The Boys.
Me back around or things like that. So there's other shows that'll just end up being ahead of of Dave, I guess. So
watch The Boys on Prime.
That too, and Vince will hopefully be back soon. Love that, excited for that. So there's a lot of other shows above Dave. So
yeah, I mean. That's one of those shows where, like, it's 20 minutes. Like, you're in and out. So, like, I can just watch an episode a day, like, easy, like that.
Got it.
Other shows, like, I'm invested in a full 5-season whatever story.
If I try to click on it, I'll click on it. But for now, I'm leaving it alone. So it is what it is. But we may have a lot more time now. We get to our last topic. COVID came back with a vengeance, it seems.
It never left. It never
really left, but folks have been acting like all is good yet again. And because of how relaxed our city has gotten, COVID's numbers have jumped right back up. And we are, at least for the moment, in masks. It may be locked down again, hopefully not. But we're not experts again or nothing like that. Just saying that we see what's going on and hope that everybody stays safe in whatever way that means for you. So just be safe out there. We told y'all at the beginning, wash your hands, wash your ass. Y'all didn't listen, so hopefully
y'all didn't listen.
All right, hopefully y'all adjust accordingly and stay safe now. So that's all I got now. Anything else you want to mention before we get out of here?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I think we.
Yeah. I think another episode is in the books, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Whole lot of good things here to discuss. If you want to add to the discussion here, follow us online on IG and TikTok at section.300. Follow us on Twitter at section.sports. Follow me at just say G, Alec at LakersFan24 online. Subscribe to the show for YouTube viewers. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you give a thumbs up or however you do it on there. We appreciate all the love you guys show there. A like, review, subscribe, all that for the podcast listeners. Share to your folks. Let them know what we got going on. Love to have more folks join us up in the nosebleeds as we're up here doing. So thank you guys so much again for tuning in. We'll see you guys again next week, right before the NBA draft, as we mentioned. So it should be a good one. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we out of here, man. Peace.
Deuces.